Good evening. My name is Carol Fischetti, and I am a member of the Finance Committee. I am here to discuss Article 8, which is to amend the zoning bylaw, schedule of use regulations for a brew pub and a microbrewery. Mr. Moderator, fellow town meeting members, Article 8 has been in process for almost a year when the planning board began to consider the inclusion of brew pubs and microbreweries as permitted businesses within the town of Needham. In the Finance Committee's meeting of April 6th, 2022, prior to our Maytown meeting, the planning board came before the Finance Committee to explain the zoning bylaw changes that would be required to add brew pubs and microbreweries to the portfolio of restaurants and eating and drinking establishments that are permitted in Needham. There were the issues of what defined a brew pub versus a microbrewery, what the business model was at each establishment, and where they might be most appropriately located. What was clear from our initial meeting with the planning board was that the regulations surrounding the issuance of liquor licenses would need to be revised to accommodate both existing restaurants and food establishments and brew pubs and microbreweries so that all would be on a more even playing field in terms of liquor license, what is permitted, hours of operation, sale of more food than alcohol if a restaurant or brew pub, etc. Over the summer, the select board revised their liquor license policy to include a farmer series pouring permit that will be issued by the select board to a microbrewery. A brew pub will require the same license as a restaurant, and the fees were set to be at parity between a restaurant and a brew pub. The planning board held public hearings on the proposed zoning bylaw changes and thoughtfully listened to residents' concerns. They were careful and within the same zoning district, very specific as to where a brew pub or a microbrewery could be built after listening to residents' concerns. This fall, when the planning board first came before the Finance Committee to discuss the zoning bylaw amendment, Finance Committee members were concerned that the proposed zoning amendment would be in conflict with the Massachusetts state law's uniformity requirement. Needham's town council was consulted regarding this issue at the request of the Finance Committee, and we were satisfied with town council's conclusion that the zoning bylaws as proposed would not be in conflict with the uniformity requirement. In short, this lengthy, thoughtful, and deliberate process undertaken by the planning board, the select board, along with the questions asked by the Finance Committee along the way, has resulted in a zoning bylaw change that we believe will be economically beneficial to the town and its residents if a brew pub or microbrewery were to be constructed, while providing an even playing field for existing restaurant establishments with respect to the sale of food and alcohol and hours of operation. Mr. Moderator and fellow town meeting members, the Finance Committee unanimously recommends adoption of Article 8, amend the zoning bylaw, schedule of use regulations for brew pubs and microbreweries. Thank you and cheers.